On the line right now, her name is Tracy Brown. She is what is known as a deception detector, and it was commissioned by Dave Gordon, believe it or not, to look into these charges that he has made against the county executive. Tracy Brown, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So you're in Boulder. Is that where you're out of?
I am. Yeah, just near Denver here.
My son is in Denver. We were just out there, and it's a really cool. I mean, Colorado, and I mean, it's beautiful, but it's Denver is just pretty awesome. I'm sure Boulder is as well.
Oh yeah, and Boulder's better than Denver.
Yes,
I love it here. Yeah.
I'm sure it is. Does the pop bus drive through? It was the craziest thing. It's like this bus. They get on it to smoke pot, and it stops. It stops off at all the dispensaries. And then it stops at a pizza joint.
Yeah, that's a Denver thing. It doesn't come through here, but you know what? We don't even need the bus anymore. Everything's so, and you know that's not my scene. But yeah, I hear it. You don't really need it anymore.
Well, it wasn't ours either, for the record. But it was cool. I mean, we were at the pizzeria that they stopped in, and the smell and the aroma inside the pizzeria completely changed very quickly. Okay,
yeah.
All right. You so how did this all work out? Dave Gordon reached out to you, and you obviously have a service, so he can pay you. Did you charge him for this? And you created a report. Give us a background on it.
Yeah. So I have a website like any other business would have, and I get. And mostly what I do is keynote speeches for corporate events.
Right.
And so my website's all about that, but I get a lot of requests for people to who want me to look at a picture, look at a video for them, and I get probably 3 of those a week. Most of them are from people who want to know if their husband's cheating and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And most of them, when they find out that this is a business and that, yes, you do have to pay me, they go away. And he
not Dave Gordon.
No, not Dave. And so I was pretty surprised actually because, like I said, people just aren't when they figure out it's a real thing. They don't. Yeah. They go away.
And in fairness, how much does it cost to have you look at video or look at photos or something like that?
It varies from how long it is, and so this particular one was about $200. Okay. So. All right. I don't think it's too much money.
No, okay.
And because it was a 4 or 5 minute video, it takes me about 5 minutes per minute of the video to analyze, write it up, the whole thing. So,
okay. So you analyze the video of, and you understand what Dave Gordon is charging here is that the county executive had an affair. And then finally the county executive responded in video, and you had a chance to look at his video.
I did, and you know what? When I looked at it, I did not understand the only question that was posed to me was, "Is this guy lying?"
Okay.
And so I had no background. I didn't even know that Dave was the other fella mentioned in there. It took until about the 4th time I watched it, and then I noticed the little line on Facebook. I'm like, oh, this is the guy. Okay, yeah, all right, I got it. And actually, I want it that way because I want to go in being completely neutral.
Okay. Right.
And I actually don't want to know anything about the case, so that way I can be as accurate as I can be.
Okay, so you watched the video and you determined what?
Mm-hmm. It seemed to me that it's more of an attack than a statement of innocence. And every time he tried to claim innocence, he would show a tell of deception, 1 or 2 tells. And, the biggest one was that he said, this is the last time I'm going to talk about this. I'm only going to talk about this right now. I'm not going to take any questions. I mean, he repeated that statement. He opened with it. He closed with it. And that's a pretty reliable indicator of deception just right there.
Can I just it surprises me though that you would not use any background, because that statement right there, and it's funny that you brought that up. To me, that statement, you can't judge that statement without background. You can't judge that statement. Well, let me finish.
Here's where I'm coming from.
Okay.
And I have
and then I'll tell you where I'm coming from, and then I want to bring in another expert on this. So go ahead.
I've studied right alongside the FBI, police, Green Berets, And where I'm going is textbook learning that goes on. And so one of those things, when they go into an interrogation, they actually don't have a lot of background because they weren't there. And so I use those same techniques. So that's where that statement
all right,
comes
fair
from.
enough. Okay, so on that topic, because I don't know what I'm talking about, and there's no sense in me arguing with you over it because I don't know what I'm talking about. But Matt Episcopo is a guy that does this same sort of thing who's just called in. And Matt, what's your take? What is your take on that and the whole background thing? The fact that this has been pelted at him with no evidence by Dave Gordon for several weeks now. Several months. And it's gotten to the point where Pacenti had enough and finally said he's going to talk about it. What's your take? Matt, are you there?
Matt Episcopo?
Matt, are you there?
Oh, yeah? Get out.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay,
good
I
morning,
got you
Matt.
back. So you're on with Tracy Brown. And what's your take on this? Because this is a pretty... I understand that this is what everybody does, and you go on tour and you do keynote speeches. But this is someone's life and their family we're talking about here in a pretty big...
To speak to what she's saying, I'm the guy that trains interrogators.
Okay, all right.
My career was law enforcement. My specialty was interview and interrogation, and I am an expert certified in court to give an opinion on deception, and I'm the guy that trains the FBI, the Green Berets, the interrogators. So if Tracy was going to take a class, she would take it from me.
Okay.
And let me tell you, what she is saying is complete nonsense.
Whoa.
Okay. So you've watched the video and you've seen her report and you heard what she just said. You don't agree with it.
I absolutely do not agree. The one thing that I teach is you must be prepared before you go into an interrogation. That is key. Lack of preparation is going to kill your case because many times when you're talking with somebody that's accused of something, you only have that one time many times. And if you are not prepared, you cannot just wing it. How are you going to know? You absolutely must prepare.
Okay, Tracy, do you want to respond to that? And you've gotten yourself into a hornet's nest here. This is clearly very, and I apologize for that, but this is a major political case and a huge accusation being made without any evidence.
Let me just clarify, too. I could care less about politics. I'm talking purely about technique.
Okay.
I'm talking about detecting deception. So whether this guy did something or didn't do anything or whatever it is, that's irrelevant. It's somebody that watches a video and says, by watching a video, I'm going to make an opinion, and that opinion can be based on just some class that she took or whatever, and it has something to do with someone's livelihood, their family, and their professional career. That's dangerous territory. If you were to call me up and say, Matt, I want you to watch this video and give me an opinion, I'd say absolutely not because I don't have the information, and there's too many things that you can if you know anything about detecting deception, you know that it's based on stress, and stress is ambiguous and has to be interpreted, and you have to corroborate the things that you're saying. By simply watching something, you absolutely cannot tell for a fact. And for you to put your name on a report and say this is what's going on, that's just dangerous territory. I would not have anything to do with this.
Wow. Tracy, how do you respond to that?
Matt, with all due respect, I did not train with you, and I was trained in out here in Colorado, and am using the tools that I was trained in to do my best. And there are
well, and doing your best isn't enough in a case where you have a family on the line here. This is someone's family.
Okay, so hang on. I didn't come on here to be insulted.
I'm not insulting you. Ma'am, I'm not insulting you. I'm just saying you just said you came to do your best.
Talk about my report, which I stand by. Now,
you stand by that. You were able to see that through a video. You watched that video, and you were able to tell that Tony Pacenti was lying. You could tell. You knew it.
I do believe he was lying, and you got to remember, I was given, like you guys said, I was given a 5-minute video. And
but you should know better to say that I can't detect deception based on this video.
I don't know. Hang on, guys. Hang on.
In your report, you start out with an escape hatch.
I don't know if you have.
Okay, Matt, hold on. Let.
Who has the full report in their hands? Do you?
I do.
Okay, good. So I would refer you to the second paragraph, which says, in my opinion is based solely on the limited information I had in this statement, and I reserve the right to modify my opinion should more information become available. So,
all right, well, that's great. Meanwhile, Tony Pacenti's wife is sitting home feeling really bad about herself right now. Tracy, irresponsible. I think it's irresponsible.
Stand by, yes.
I think it's irresponsible. It's like a psychic saying, yeah, I just talked to your husband and he told me this. You don't know that. I mean, you're making this is someone's life you're playing with here.
You know what I'm doing
Also,
is
what you would say is that statement, that opening.
Let Tracy,
hold on, Matt.
Let Matt speak here, and then I'll come back to you, Tracy.
standing by the tools that I use reliably to detect.
I get that. You said that, Matt. Go ahead.
Sure. So what I will say is, if she wants to speak about her report, that opening statement is called an escape hatch. That means somebody doesn't. If she wants to talk about detecting deception, that's one thing that I pick up on. When you start a report with an escape hatch, that means you do not believe 100% in it, or you wouldn't say that. You don't give yourself an out. And Tracy, if you know anything about detecting deception, you'd have to agree with that statement. That's an escape hatch.
Do you agree
Because
with that,
you
Tracy?
cannot say 100% with certainty that I believe this. Which is exactly what
based on what I have, this is absolutely what I believe. If more information becomes available, I'm happy to give it a look. However, I'm basing what I say on the information that I have, the tools that I use, and not only that, the accuracy that I've gained over 20 years of doing this. So you guys can attack me with...
We're not attacking you. We're attacking your report.
It doesn't sound that friendly to me.
Yeah.
So I'm standing by my report of what I see. These are the typical signs of deception, and I can't tell you anything other than that. If you'd like to have a friendly conversation about what's going on, let's do it.
I thought we had a friendly. I like Denver. There's a pop bus, all this stuff. I thought we were very friendly. You know, but we don't agree with your report necessarily. And Matt is an expert in this field and an expert in law enforcement who's saying that your report is flawed. No one's being mean. He's giving you his professional opinion.
Mm-hmm. As am I.
Okay. Fair enough. Matt, you want to respond?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is absolutely not an attack on Tracy because I don't know her. I've never met her. I'm simply saying that if you're in pursuit of the truth, there's a right way and there's a wrong way to go about it. Handing someone $200 to watch a YouTube video and say, what do you think? Bill, you could have your crew go out on the street and watch the same video and give their opinion, and it would mean just as much, right? But when someone's going to say, I'm an expert, and here's what I have to say about that, the things that appear in her report, first of all, it starts out with an escape hatch, which shows that she does not believe 100% in what it is that she's saying, and she's saying that there's typical things that are typical of deception. Someone that comes out that's angry is not necessarily a form of deception. If someone's going to make a sincere denial about something, you'd want to see angry. Whereas opposed, and let me give you the exact scenario. If someone's being accused of something and you say, did you do this? They should make a spontaneous, sincere, quick, potentially angry denial about it versus why would I do something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Is there, and this could be to Tracy or Matt, is there any difference between you ask somebody a question and they immediately give an answer that's spontaneous or a prepared statement? Because to give a little bit of background and context here, Pacenti's press conference was in response to a press conference that was held earlier in the day, kind of doubling down or reaccusing.
With no evidence
Right.
whatsoever.
Unfounded this allegation. So he had, in response, prepared a statement and was basically reading a speech. Is there a difference between a, hey, did you have an affair? No. Or a prepared statement addressing the issue?
Who wants to grab that?
I believe he was winging it.
I would tell you there is.
I think Pacenti was winging it.
He was
Pacenti
winging it.
just
Yeah.
walked out.
He just walked
and
up and
said,
talked. Yeah.
I have had it with this. I am going to speak about this one time. This didn't happen. I find it very difficult, Tracy, to reach the conclusion you reached based on someone's, when they're placed in a position where they're desperate, and this accusation is affecting their family, in particular, an innocent woman and his wife. I think that his reaction seemed to me to be human more than anything else. But I'm not the expert here.
And, he has tells all the way through there. I think we're getting stuck on one. And, he waves that report in front of his eyes. He waves his report as he does, closes his eyes, doesn't want to see the report. I mean, it goes on and on.
You've got to be kidding me. Matt, can you respond to that?
Yeah.
Closing the eyes and waving the report and then turning around 3 times and pointing to the sky? What the hell are you talking about?
Much a hallmark of deception.
Okay, Matt, quickly, Matt, do you agree with that or disagree?
It's just ridiculous.
Well, it's not an argument, so I'll ask Tracy a simple question. Let me ask you this. You make the statement that he holds the report up and he closes his eyes, and that could potentially be that he's distancing himself from the report because he feels guilty about the report.
No, it does not say that. It does not say that.
Well, he's proposing something here.
Could it also be in that moment he's gathering his thoughts as to what he's going to say next? Could that possibly be?
I don't believe so in the series that I use to analyze. No.
Okay, then you clearly need more training.
Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Matt, I want you to stand by. I'll take more, and I'll apologize in advance, or I guess it isn't in advance technically, Tracy. I do appreciate you coming on. I do appreciate it, but I'm going to call it quits at this point, okay? And she is already called it quits for me.